Let's see how some ancient wisdom might just be the remedy for our crazy modern lives.
You know that feeling? That storm inside, even when everything outside seems perfectly calm?
I mean, it's 2026. Life has never, ever been this fast-paced, has it?
We're just bombarded, right? Notifications, social media, work, it's nonstop.
And even when we try to chill out, the mind just keeps running. You feel me?
Yeah, this silent storm inside our heads, it's become a huge struggle for so many of us.
But here's a thought. What if this struggle isn't actually new at all?
Turns out, our world has changed, but our minds, they're facing the exact same old problems.
A troubled man once asked the Buddha why he was always suffering. Sound familiar?
And the Buddha just asked him, right now, in this very moment, what's actually wrong? See, the mind often creates huge storms when really there's only a little bit of wind.
There's a great concept for this. It's called the 2 arrows of suffering. Let's break it down.
Okay, so the first arrow is the bad thing that happens. The second is our reaction to it.
And it's that second arrow, the one we shoot ourselves, that really, really hurts the most.
Here's another way to think about it. Imagine your worries are a simple glass of water.
If you hold it for a minute, no big deal, right? It feels pretty light.
But hold it for an hour, and your arm starts to ache. It gets heavy.
Now try holding it all day. Suddenly, that same glass of water feels absolutely unbearable.
The glass never got heavier. The only thing that changed was how long you held onto it.
This means you are so much bigger than your thoughts. You are the one watching them pass by.
So, the big question is, how do we find any peace when the world just never stops moving?
Well, the answer isn't out there. It's in here. Peace has to come from within.
And it can be so simple. Just pause, take a slow breath in, and a gentle breath out.
In that quiet space, your mind stops racing. It's just here. It's present.
Maybe the greatest success we can ever have is just finding a little peace of mind.
Let's explore how to find some calm in our hectic modern world, together.
Feeling totally overwhelmed by all the noise? Yeah, this is for you.
You know, we're always looking everywhere for the answers to all this stress.
We read all the books, all the advice, just hoping for a clear path to peace.
But we're always looking out there for something to fix it, right? But what if the real answer isn't out there at all? Right before he passed, the Buddha left one final, powerful message. He taught that true wisdom, well, it comes from looking at your own mind. So how do you start? It's simple. Just start noticing your thoughts.
Just watch them come and go. You don't have to fight them.
And when you do this, something pretty incredible starts to happen.
You see, you aren't your thoughts. You're the sky. They're just clouds passing by.
And that's the key. Thoughts are just events. They don't have to run your life. When you finally stop struggling with them, your mind just softens.
And that's when the grip of all that modern stress starts to loosen. The world's still going to be busy, but a quiet space starts to open up inside. This peace isn't something you earn. It's something you simply discover within.
It's kind of like that huge, unchanging sky that's always there behind the clouds.
Or think of it like the deep ocean, totally still beneath the crashing waves.
So just remember this, your mind is actually built for peace.
And that's not because life is suddenly going to get easier or anything.
It's because the strength to handle it all calmly is already right there inside you.
So when you get lost, just come back to your breath. That's the first step.
That peace, it's been here the whole time, just waiting for you to notice. I know your world is moving so fast, but I want to invite you, just for a moment, to pause, to stop the endless rush and just be here. We're going to look at something together, something that might feel very familiar, a reflection of your own mind. I want you to think about your mind for a second. Imagine it's like a vast, beautiful lake. But in this age you live in, with the constant notifications, the endless demands, well, this lake is almost never still, is it? For so many of you, it feels like it's caught in a storm that just never ends.
Can you picture it? Really try. You're standing right at the water's edge, and a strong wind is whipping across the surface. That wind, well, that's the wind of your world, isn't it? It's the ping of your phone, the pressure to always be doing more, the feeling that you're always being compared to someone else. All these things, they just churn the water until it's all murky and chaotic. And when it's like that, there's just no way to see what's really down there, deep beneath the surface.
So when your mind is like that stormy lake, what happens? Your clarity just vanishes. Every little problem suddenly feels huge, overwhelming, and making any decision feels like a real struggle. You're just reacting to the next wave that hits you. But listen, there is another way. There truly is. When your mind becomes calm, the water gets still. It becomes reflective. And that's when wisdom appears. Not because you're forcing it, but because of the stillness itself. Suddenly, solutions seem so much clearer, and life just starts to feel lighter.
So that's the promise of stillness. And it's not about having an empty mind. Not at all. It's about having a clear one. So let's explore that a bit. Let's see what actually becomes possible when we just let that inner storm pass.
You know, when those winds of worry finally settle down and the water of your mind gets calm, something really profound happens. The surface, it becomes like a perfect mirror. It can finally reflect things as they really are. The sky, the trees, the truth of your situation, without all that distortion from the waves. And the best part? It's not something you have to force. The wisdom just arises. The answers you've been looking for, they become visible. And that heavy weight you've been carrying, it just starts to dissolve.
Okay, I can almost hear what you're thinking. This all sounds wonderful, but my world is just too fast. The winds are way too strong. And I get that. I really do. But that's exactly why the path to stillness isn't about changing the world outside of you. It's about finding your anchor within it.
So that really is the big question, isn't it? How do you do it? How do you, right in the middle of a crazy, demanding day with all that noise and pressure, how do you find a way to quiet that inner wind and calm the restless water of your mind? Well, the answer, it's actually much simpler and a lot closer than you might think.
The way it's called mindfulness. And all it really is this. It's paying attention to the present moment, on purpose. But here's the key part. Without judging it, without labeling it good or bad, it's just noticing what's happening right here, right now, almost like you're a gentle, curious observer of your own life.
You see, from what I've observed, your mind loves to live in two places that aren't actually real. It loves to hang out in the past, replaying things that have already happened, usually with some regret. Or it rockets off into the future, imagining all the things that might go wrong, usually with a lot of fear. But life, real life, where is it actually happening? Only right here, in this present moment. This is the only place you ever truly exist. It's where all your power is.
There's a teaching I once shared that's more true today than ever. If you want to conquer that feeling of anxiety, you have to learn to live in the present moment. It's that simple, because right here, in the now, all those fears your mind cooks up about the future, they lose their power. You can finally see them for what they are, just thoughts. They're like passing clouds in the sky. They are not your reality.
Okay, so enough about the what and why. Let's move from just knowing this stuff to actually doing it. I want to offer you a really simple path back to the present moment. It's something you can do anytime, anywhere, whenever you feel that storm starting to rise inside.
All right, so the next time you feel that stress building up, you feel those waves churning, I want you to try this. First step, just pause. Whatever it is you're doing, just for a second, stop. Second, take one slow, deep breath. Really feel the air coming in and then feel it going out. Third, just listen. What can you hear right now? Don't even label the sounds, just notice them. Fourth, feel the ground underneath your feet. Notice how solid and steady it is, it's holding you up. And finally, fifth, just bring your attention back to your breath. Just watch it come and go, without trying to change a thing.
And in that one single moment of awareness, something changes. It's like your mind, just for a little bit, has an anchor. Those winds of worry and planning, they start to settle down. And the storm inside, well, it gradually, gently becomes quieter. The lake of your mind starts to still itself.
You see, this feeling of peace, it isn't some far-off destination you have to travel to. It's not a prize you have to earn. It's been here the whole time. It's always been right here inside you, just underneath all those restless waves. All you have to do is remember how to return to it.
So this little practice, this is your anchor. It's your way back to that calm center, and you can use it absolutely anywhere at any time. So I'll leave you with this question to carry with you. Where, in the middle of your very busy life, where will you find your calm lake today? Just remember, the quiet is always waiting for you.
If you're here, maybe it's because you've been feeling, well, a bit overwhelmed by the pace of the world. If that sounds like you, then this message is meant for you. So just for a moment, take a deep breath. Let's explore a path to finding a little more peace, together.
All right, let's dive right in. I want to speak directly to you for a second. Not the you at work or the you that you are online, but the real you. The one that's there when all the noise finally fades away.
So let me just ask you something simple. Does your mind often feel restless? You know that feeling, right? That constant hum of thoughts and worries and plans that just never seems to switch off. If you're nodding along, you are definitely not alone.
I mean, let's face it, we're living in a world that moves faster than ever. We're constantly encouraged to chase success, to get approval from others, to build up this wall of security around ourselves. And hey, there's nothing inherently wrong with those things. But the faster we run, the more our minds can start to feel like a chaotic storm.
So to really get why this happens, let's turn to an ancient story, a little parable that was once told by the Buddha. It's a really simple tale, but it holds such a profound truth about where our suffering really comes from.
Okay, so picture this. A man is walking through a forest, just minding his own business, when suddenly, wham, he's struck by an arrow. That pain is sharp, it's immediate, it's very, very real. This is the first arrow.
But what happens next? This is the crucial part. Instead of immediately dealing with the wound, pulling the arrow out, the man stops and he starts to overthink. His mind starts racing with questions like, who shot this? Why did this have to happen to me?
And this right here is the core of the teaching. The first arrow is just the event itself. It's what life throws at us. But that second arrow, that's the one we fire at ourselves. It's our reaction. It's our story about the pain, our endless questioning. And that is where the real suffering actually begins.
Do any of these sound familiar? What if I fail? What will people think about me? What if I'm just not good enough? That, my friend, is the sound of the second arrow. It's that inner voice of doubt and fear, all the what-ifs that keep us up at night. Our mind just keeps on firing these arrows long after the first event is over.
So why do we do this to ourselves? Well, the teaching points to one main cause: attachment. It's our mind's powerful, tight grip on how things should be. We get so attached to certain outcomes, to our status, to feeling in control, and when reality doesn't match up with our attachments, well, that's when we suffer.
This leads to a pretty revolutionary idea. We often think, okay, I'll be peaceful when I get that job, or I'll be happy when my life is all sorted out. But this quote, it flips that whole script. Peace isn't waiting for you at the finish line of a perfect life. It's actually available right now, in this moment, when we can gently ask our mind to let go of its demand for perfection.
Let's look at another simple story that shows exactly how this works. This one is all about the weight that you carry every single day, often without even realizing you're doing it.
Okay, it works in the exact same way. An argument you had, a mistake at work, a worry about the future, each one is like that glass of water. When we replay them over and over in our heads, we're just holding on to them, making them feel heavier and heavier, long after the moment has passed. The key is learning to put the glass down.
So how do we learn to put the glass down? How do we stop firing that second arrow? This brings us to the final, and I think most beautiful metaphor for finding peace. The idea that your mind is like the sky.
First, we have to accept a fundamental truth. You can't just stop thoughts from popping into your head. The mind is a thought-generating machine. That's what it does. But, and here's the secret, you don't have to serve them tea. You can choose not to hold on to them, not to analyze them, and not to fight them.
The practice is this simple. When a worrisome thought appears, you just notice it. You acknowledge it without judgment, and then you gently let it go. Imagine it's just a cloud drifting by. You don't have to grab onto it, you just let it pass.
Think about it. Your true mind, your awareness, is like the vast open sky. Thoughts, emotions, worries, they're just clouds. Sometimes the sky is full of dark, stormy clouds, and sometimes it's clear and blue. But no matter how stormy the weather gets, the sky itself is never, ever harmed by the clouds. They just pass through.
And so are you. You are the sky, not the clouds. Your awareness is so much greater, so much more enduring than any single thought or feeling that's just passing through.
So as we bring this to a close, this ancient wisdom isn't offering a complex solution. It's really just a simple invitation, a question for you to carry with you. Which worries have you been holding on to for an hour or a day or even a year? Which glass of water are you finally ready to set down? Which clouds are you ready to just watch as they gently drift on by? The choice, and the peace that comes with it, is always yours.
Let's begin. It's time to build a quiet, peaceful home for your mind.
Okay, first, just take a calm breath. Quiet yourself and simply watch the world.
You'll see it, won't you? This great restlessness, this endless, hurried chase everywhere.
Chasing a new title, more stuff, or just trying to feel a little more secure.
But even when they get it, that joy, it just fades away like morning mist.
And just like that, the mind is already looking ahead, seeking its next desire. You see, this is the source of that great wheel of stress that turns inside you.
Imagine your mind is a traveler in a vast desert, just parched with thirst. And it's running toward these shimmering mirages, promises of relief that just aren't real.
Because the truth is, lasting peace, you're never going to find it out there.
I remember a wealthy merchant who came to me, his shoulders just heavy with his riches.
He had everything he'd ever chased, and yet his heart was completely empty of peace. So I told him, "You have built a grand home for your body, but not for your mind."
Then he asked the very question that probably brought you here. How do I even begin?
Well, the path is built on three things: understanding, gratitude, and letting go.
This path, it's more important than ever in your fast-moving world of 2026.
The world shouts, "You're not enough," but this wisdom whispers, "You already are."
Your screens are constantly feeding you endless comparisons, feeling that feeling of not enough.
But when you finally teach your mind to be still, well, a great surprise awaits. You'll discover that peace was never some faraway destination you had to reach.
It was with you all along, just hidden beneath the constant noise of desire.
So the only question left for you is this: will you finally stop running?